The Uncharted movie plots literally no Uncharted territory as far as filmmaking goes.
We spent
Uh
10 or so years in development hell, hundreds of rewrites and different directors and
God.
concept and actors in
Oh.
leading roles, and all of this work for this fucking thing.
You know,
Uncharted.
it's shocking to me because you would think after so many Marvel movies,
Mm,
like even if they just tried to imitate a Marvel movie, or they got a writer that wrote one of the better Marvel movies, they could have at least caught on to like, the good quip writing
yeah,
or good character establishment, like anything. I don't know why they gave this movie to this director.
yeah. Or
And
these actors. Like,
like,
I mean, I nothing against either one of
yeah,
them,
no,
but it's
we'll
such a
get to the
bizarre
casting.
choice.
Jesus Christ. But it's very interesting to me that they decided to go this route
Yeah,
because there's no reason to do this.
no.
And I'm not even a fan of the Pirates movies, but I would have loved to see this directed by Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, that would have been
Like,
cool. Yeah,
yeah, someone who knows what a sense of adventure actually feels like instead of just point A to point B for
yeah,
everything and
for
trying to
sure.
force like late plot fucking emotions in the early sections with just like cookie cutter, oh, you know what happened to my brother, how could you hide this from me, like
You
that
know,
kind of shit. And like Tom Holland acts his heart out,
oh,
and
he does.
bless him, but
Like
it's
what I was thinking about while I was watching this, because Tom Holland, before this movie even came out, like months before it came out, when I records and like, yeah, I don't really like that my performance in that movie. I feel like I was trying too hard to be cool, and then I would kind of watch, and I was like, everyone's fucking doing that. This is a movie that doesn't have
well,
style or substance. It thinks it can get away with swagger, and it's just painful to
no.
watch.
So, one of my favorite things about the Uncharted games is the relationship between Sully and Nate,
Yeah,
right? And they have this beautiful dynamic, which is, you know, they do like some low level chop busting, but it's never like actual chop busting. It's just good
no,
natured ribbing and just kind of like sarcastic little comments and shit. And generally, they're just making jokes with each other about like, that famous like quip. I will never forget the time when I think it's in the second game where you're climbing a ladder after Sully, like in the jungle,
yeah.
and and out of nowhere, like Nate is just like, "You got a great ass, Sully," and Sully just goes, "Thanks." Like that's it. That's the kind of humor. But like what? And each character has their own distinctly dynamic persona. That's
Yeah,
this good mix between masculinity, but also this kind of vulnerability and tenderness, and kind of like all of them are carrying their own scars and shit. And what you get here is Mark Wahlberg being
yep.
Mark
Just,
Wahlberg.
just being Mark
He's
Wahlberg.
not. It really feels like the casting director read the one-line descriptions of the characters and was like, yeah, I think I got someone for this. Let's just have Mark Wahlberg be Mark Wahlberg because he's like that kind of guy. We'll have him do that. And Tom
Yep.
Holland is, he's popular. He's Spider-Man, and Spider-Man comes out right before this. We'll ride that coattail. And
It's
like,
I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt you
it's,
there, but have you seen the pitch meeting episode for this?
yeah, I think so.
Because I'm honest, like, if nothing else in this, that's one of my favorites from recent times. Because, like, all right, so we have this little kid Nate to be played by Tom Holland, adult Nate. He looks slightly older, I guess. And the guy just goes, Spider Man.
And that's like, I was thinking these things before I watched that, and he was
Yeah.
saying them like, thank you. It was obvious. Like,
Yep.
it's so obvious that they weren't trying to cast anybody. They were
No,
just trying to fucking get big name actors. And the dynamic is terrible.
it's not
Like,
good.
even if they had good writing for them, all of the jokes between them are super just straight. Like, this could be the hangover.
Yeah.
Like, the quips they make at each other are so baseline boring bro fucking jabs, like
Yep.
just
Like I
quips
said, everyone's
about
trying to be
like,
cool and be swag and be like, yo, dude, like that kind of bullshit. It's trying so
yeah, but it's
fucking hard
all
to be
like,
cool. But
yeah, it's all emasculating each other. Like, a
yeah.
lot of it is just them making fun of each other, like being like a girl or some shit like that. I'm so fucking bored of that shit, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, man.
Like,
Um,
And it's like it's not just like basic ass bro jock shit. Like it's also like misogynistic,
yeah,
and it's just like it doesn't feel like a good fit.
no, it's not at all. I think someone else pointed this out too. It is also just kind of weird how much presence Mark Wahlberg has in this movie, to the point where it kind of feels
Yeah,
like for some reason the studio didn't think that Tom Holland can carry a movie. Which is just,
yeah,
I don't know when this was conceived or when they made this, like before Spider-Man they started playing, or like the second Spider-Man they started playing all this shit. But it's where like Mark,
yeah.
like Sully, even in the most game where he's most prevalent, which is the third one, like doesn't do a whole lot through most of these games.
He's the sidekick essentially.
He's the
story's about
sidekick, but in
Nate.
this one he's having these long ass fight scenes in the most blatant product placement I've seen since the last Power Rangers movie. To the
What's
point where
wrong?
I'm
You
describing
don't
this
like
to a
Papa
friend.
John's?
I'm describing this to a friend of mine who was like, "How is it?" I'm like, "It's gonna remind you of Power Rangers for the worst reasons." And he starts listing out the reasons, like, "No, no, no, you'll know when you see it."
My God, just
Like an entire
also
extended.
of all pizza chains to partner with, Papa John's right now, really? That's
And to
come
me,
on,
it's like
guys.
almost a laughable. Like a good chunk of the treasure hunting portion of this one, I feel like it's just shit that people would find by accident. Like
No, my personal favorite of the Tomb Raider shit is it's like it is laughably light.
yeah,
Like
like it's pretty
the
embarrassing. But
the depth of where they go, like because Uncharted is famously the modern homage to old Tomb Raider games. Like it
yeah,
brought back that style with those like deep dives into ancient tombs and setting off traps and like really Indiana Jones shit, you know?
mm,
And to the point where it allowed Tomb Raider to have its own, remake trilogy
yeah,
on new consoles. That's super cool. Um, and in this one, let's see, they have that bullshit fucking plane scene from the third game, which was
yeah,
dumb in the first place. Um,
yeah. But
and
it's fun to play. It's not fun to watch.
no, it's fun to play. It's not fun to watch because you watch it and you're like, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
But then, and the physics of it doesn't work out if you know anything about how things fall. But like, it's you have that. You have the scene where they take the keys and they go underground to that thing, which is one of the dumber things
I was
because
gonna bring that up because that made me laugh when I was watching theaters, because I was like, wait, so you go through all this trouble to find these two keys to unlock this door in a church, and you track down the clues, you go through all of these things, and it turns out there's just a nightclub at the end of the tunnel. So I was kind of like,
yeah, no, the
like that
tunnel they
entire
go
thing
through
was
this.
pointless. But
Yeah, they go through this century. Well, they needed the keys to unlock the last part, remember?
yeah,
But they go through this centuries old passage, which is just covered in cobwebs and shit. And one way is trapped.
yeah,
And so they, which is interesting because the way the trap is set off is Tom Holland sets it off and it goes off in front of his face, not
yeah.
on him.
Oh yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
that feels like a really weird way to set a trap. Like, wouldn't you set the trap so if someone steps on it, it would go into them instead of in front of them?
I mean, you're right. I'm also thinking, like, yeah, but there's also a lot dumber things in the sequence than that.
Oh,
Uh,
sure,
like it's
sure.
like
But then they
not
go down
even
the
too
other
much
path and they
longer.
go further and further. It's not even a branching path. It's one straight path.
Yep.
And they end up at a grate with like piping and shit. And they're like, there's a nightclub at the end of it that is very not secret.
Yeah,
So you're
right.
literally saying that they did all this stuff to open this secret passage and choose the right way. And in the end, it's opened up into this section where how did people find this?
Like I
What is
have to
this?
assume the people that like built the architect in this city paid no attention to whatsoever. Because I have to wonder, is like this ancient tomb that's been hidden for centuries is right below a grate in the town plaza in front of the water fountain.
Yes.
And you're telling me in that entire time nobody looked down and go, huh, that looks kind of weird.
Yeah. No, you would have to build that. You you don't just find a hole and you're like, let's put a grate on that. Let's not bother with whatever's down there. It'll just drain everything into wherever that leads. Like,
Or you're
It
like
is
building a
so
Papa John's
lazy.
and making of like a glass plexiglass stain in front of a like what is obviously a keyhole, and just asking no follow up questions to that at all. It's the
Um,
dumbest thing.
it's
And even like
it's
the climax, let's get
astonishing.
inside the spirit territory when they actually find the big treasure. It's in the most obvious. I wonder what's in there. Giant ass cave entrance.
Well,
They,
no, here's the thing. My question was, how'd the boats get in there?
also that. Yeah. Well, I assume like they like swam through and then like something closed off behind him or something like that maybe they blew it up.
Well, how? No, because it's not like a caved in structure.
Oh,
It's
wasn't it? I
just
thought it was. But,
no. It
oh,
was
well,
just like a cave.
maybe I was just trying to do the work for them.
Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to notice the formation of the rocks at the opening of the cave. But as far as I could tell, the only opening into that cave was a conveniently boat-sized hole above the boats.
So stupid.
God,
Uh,
it's amazing how bad this is.
yeah, it's pretty
And
bad.
all of this would be forgivable if the movie had an iota of charm.
Yeah.
But it's so bland and boring. It's not even fun bad. It's just terrible. The fights are boring. The plot is boring. The writing is boring. The
Yep.
jokes aren't funny. The relationships are boring. Nothing about this is not bland. And I don't know why they took such a massive property and gave it to people that are this, I mean, like, sorry, but straight up untalented. This
Yeah.
is amateur shit.
Like
It's
this
like
feels
you
like
give
a
a couple of
rejected script for
amateurs a
National
shit
Treasure
ton of
3.
money. Huh?
Outside, like, yes, this there's some parts of this that feels kind of like a rejected like National Treasure sequel in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would understand that. Like that feels like appropriate for a description. It's just
it's so
it's
stupid.
sad because
Like
there's so much potential for this. Like
it's
the
like
games aren't just good
yeah,
because they're games. They're game good because they have good writing too.
yeah, they have good character
And
work and like good set pieces. And
yeah,
everything works. It is a fun swashbuckling adventure with characters who actually give a
yeah.
shit. But like
And
this is
what
a
about
case where like
like can you imagine if they just did a
a what?
sorry, we're getting some lag here.
Oh, man, good. Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just like stops and starts a bit. But like, can you imagine if they just did a straight adaptation of Uncharted 2?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Like if they started off with that scene with the train, like the
Yeah,
moment that game boots up with that scene with the train, and that's the quick flash forward thing.
yeah.
Like that is so exciting. And I remember being a little disappointed in Uncharted 3 because
It
it
basically
was
did the
like,
same thing.
well, no, they confirmed that what they did was because they had so much success and hype because of the set pieces in the second one. The approach they took for the third one was literally to come up with crazy ideas for what Nate could be doing, and then came up with a plot to connect those things.
Yeah.
And like they confirmed that that's what they did, which is why the second one is the best of the original trilogy. But like, if they had taken the approach of the second one to just build cool set pieces, but with a good plot first.
Yeah.
If this could have been amazing.
Yeah. And like it should have been amazing. Like the only thing that even comes close to it is like the final fight scene. Like, all right, it's kind of a neat concept. And it's in the trailer, so I don't was gonna wait too
Yeah,
much.
sure. It's a neat concept, but like it's not.
It's not wowy by
The
any
execution is
imagination.
still like me.
Yeah, but it's like
Also, that final change of heart that fucking
Mark Wahlberg yeah.
Sully has is like, all right, well, I guess that happens.
Sure.
There's no real lead up to it. It's like, oh, I guess he's grown a heart or something.
Oh,
And on that day, Sully's heart grew 3 times. Like, what
by that much.
Oh,
it's just it's just a very cynical product, and I think everyone knew it the minute the trailer came out. And everyone knows it's a cynical product. It's like it's not even flat. It's not even style over substance because the style's not even that good. So it's goes like that's what I was saying earlier. Like they're trying to compensate for the lack of anything by saying, okay, but if we make characters that act and talk cool, I'll be like, ooh, these guys are cool. I like them because they're cool. And that is the beginning and end of their character development. For me. And that goes to everybody.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, Chloe,
it's very reflective of the writers and directors like mindset approaching these kinds of things.
Yeah.
They clearly think that this is a funny, cool, like clearly they're hands of the Todd Phillips formula of masculine humor, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And we are so far past that as a society. Like
Yeah.
there's still definitely pockets of us that like are still into that thing. And it can be funny if it's pulled off well, but not when you base your whole thing on it. Not when it's this fucking basic. This is like some fucking teenage jock wrote fan fiction for Uncharted based on, you know, his first viewing of the Hangover movies. Like it's so awful.
I just imagine this fraternity jock just going there. It's like, no, man, there's too much character here. We got to be like bro-ish, and he's gonna like do like flips and stuff like Spider-Man. We should get Spider-Man in this movie.
Oh, also one more note. As a PG-13 movie, this movie has hands down the most pathetic on-camera throat cutting
yeah,
that I've ever seen. It is
it's
amazing.
It's embarrassing.
It's one of the funniest moments in the movie, honestly. Like someone gets their throat slit and it literally is just a red line across their throat. There's no bleeding even.
Nope.
There's no like blood trail or anything. Like either do it off camera or like keep the gore off camera like Dune, or be a fucking R-rated movie and do it properly and just show like or just don't slit their throat.
Yeah,
maybe break their neck. Maybe shoot them off camera. Like there's so many ways to kill somebody. Why make the choice to do something that dumb?
But it's cool because you got like a knife and just like flippy things with it, and it goes blade. She's cool now because she's got a knife.
God, it was so like she could have just stabbed him in the back of the neck.
Yep.
It would have still been very cool. Like
I remember just watching it, like this is like the bloodless throat slit I have ever seen.
Yeah. No, it's every single step of this. Like it's amazing how many absurd bad decisions are made through this movie, where someone's just like, what if we did this? That would be cool, but what if we did it in a totally not cool way? Like it would be a bad decision even if you did it cool, but now you're just fucking stupid and bland and lame all across the board. So
like this really does feel like the people involved just kind of threw up their hands like, fuck it, just make whatever you got and we'll throw it out there. We'll throw the label on there and call it a day. It's shockingly lazy. And I was watching the opening logos of the PlayStation when it came up, and I was like, are you guys sure you want to be attached to this?
I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Like,
what is this the first PlayStation Studios movie?
No, Ratchet and Clank was the other one.
Sure, okay. So but that's like a CG movie. This is the first live action.
I thought they've been others, but I can't remember. Either way, it's not a great start regardless.
Let me say this, and let me see if you agree with this.
Okay.
Because I know your feelings on this. While still being bad, Venom was more fun bad. Venom wasn't boring like this was. It was stupid and kind of painful at points, but it was still like ridiculous enough and had enough weird oddball charm to it to be more enjoyable than this.
I don't want to admit it, but
I'm right. You know I'm right.
I will give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I fucking hate Venom.
I do.
You hate that movie.
I do.
And you can't even deny that it's better than this. And that alone should tell any of our viewers what to think about this fucking movie.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate that movie.
Got to admit, buddy, that's a rough realization, isn't it?
I was like, oh God. The wheels turning in my head right now, trying to accept that.
No, you're like, oh no, they're right. Oh no,
shit,
it is that bad.
Well, fuck. Well, it's not like I want to give Uncharted any grace anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah, fuck this movie. Fuck this. What a waste.
Yeah,
they could have just copied a bunch of scenes from the games line by line, and it would have been better.
Yeah,
but they fucked this so hard. It's like, absurd.
The live action short with Nathan Fillion's already 10 times better. But
wait, there's a short with Nathan Fillion?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, there's a live action short of Uncharted where they actually got Nathan Fillion to play Drake.
I'll check that out. I'll have to check
And
that out
they
after this.
got what's his
Yeah.
name from Don't Breathe to play Sully.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
he makes it work.
The general from fucking Avatar?
Yeah, he kind of pulls it
Holy
off.
shit. He's not husky enough for me to consider him like a proper Sully match, but that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, but he's got
I'm
the
into it.
mustache and the cigar. And he's got the tone down. So
Nice. I'm down to watch that. All right. Well, anyway, that's that, I guess.
yeah, that's Uncharted. So we're kind of on a binge catch up mode right now. So if Andy's pretty brief, that's why. Because I've been going through some shit, so we've been postponing shit for a while.
Some stuff there's not a lot of not a lot to say about it. So
this is about generic as it gets. So fuck Uncharted and bye.
Bye. Fuck Uncharted the movie.
Yes, fuck Uncharted the movie. You still need to play
Yes.
Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is very good.
Yeah.
It fixed the issues of Uncharted 3. Okay, bye.
Good. No, I know. I gathered. Same people who made Uncharted 2. So
yeah.